said Daisy. "I'd come and see if you needed help." Madame Galetreau, the head of the intemperate house, was a plump and cheerful Frenchwoman with merry dark eyes and thick black hair swept back into an enormous bun. "I see," she said dryly. "Well, ma chère, the ship is stocked. The provisions are loaded, and we are nearly ready to set off for Moon Market tomorrow night." Daisy felt her fingers tingle, and she summoned a small vine from the shore to curl around her ankles. She could feel anticipation rise up in her like sap through a stem as she gazed at the floating ship. It looked very fine, with its portholes gleaming, flags fluttering, and its mast, a living oak tree, growing straight from the smooth wooden deck. The ship was where Daisy felt closest to her mother. This was partly because its jaunty pennants reminded her of Ma's own devil-may-care brand of confidence, and partly because the ship was Daisy's ticket to finding the person she cared about most in the world. Her mother was imprisoned somewhere in the heart of the Peruvian rainforest, and this was the rescue mission that was going to save her. "Isn't there anything I can do?" she asked for the 100th time. "Perhaps I could polish the railings, or dust the capstan." The vine she'd summoned coiled eagerly over her left foot. "No," said Madame Galetreau, shaking her head. "We have everything under control, ma chère. You know you're not supposed to be here. Leave the preparations to the experts." "But—" "Watch out!" It was a botanist from the kitchens toting a crate of ginger root beer along the dock. "Out of the way! Children aren't allowed near the ship!" Daisy felt a wave of annoyance, and suddenly the vine at her ankle surged out of her control. It shot into the air, ballooned to the width of a python, and snapped the landing stage in two with a great splintering crash. Daisy leapt back onto the bank just in time, but the barrel went flying into the air and lodged in the ship's mast, showering ginger beer on the botanists beneath. Madame Galetreau toppled headfirst into the water with an almighty splash and emerged glowering, a frond of river weed draped over one ear like an ill-conceived hairpiece. She spat out a small water beetle. "Enough!" she said, her voice unusually frosty. "Kindly help me out of the lake, Daisy, and then make yourself useful somewhere else. You must learn to control your magic." Daisy Thistledown was a botanist too, one who had only just discovered that she had green magic. As it turned out, using magic was one thing, keeping it in check was another. "But," she said, bracing herself against the bank to heave Madame Galetreau out of the water, "I want to do something. I want to help." She heaved again, and the Frenchwoman collapsed onto the remaining half of the landing stage. She righted herself with dignity, straightening her sopping overalls. "Non," she said, reverting to her native French. "That was the 4th accident this week. You can go and help elsewhere." "Oi! Get that child off the landing stage!" roared one of the shipbuilders, a grizzled man who was persuading the nearest mizzenmast to grow high enough to take a sail. "What have I said about untrained children using magic near the ship?" Madame Galetreau, now standing on the shore and dripping from every inch of her hair and overalls, shot Daisy a pointed look. Daisy slunk away, her cheeks hot. But she was still close enough to hear the shipbuilder's words as he surveyed the damage she'd done to the dock. "That girl," he said, "is a lost cause." Chapter 2. Max Brightly was a lost cause. That's what the midwife had said approximately 2 minutes after he was born, taking one look at his furious pinched mouth and the way his small angry fists punched the air, and people had gone on saying it all his life. "That boy," they said, "is a lost cause." His mother's friends had said it wryly, flinching at his